Ray-Pec community, we're here on the floor today in the kindergarten classroom at Timber Creek Elementary School talking to first-year kindergarten teacher, Ellie Retter. Ellie!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, thank you for inviting me to your classroom. I see the teepee and the carpet and everything, and this looks outstanding.
Yeah, thank you so much. Took a lot of time.
I bet it did.
It was fun, yes.
You're one of our first-year teachers here in the Ray-Pec School District in
Yeah.
kindergarten. So tell me what it's been like being a kindergarten teacher.
Well, I've always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher, so it's amazing. I love it. So much fun. It is a lot of work and it's very hard. But it's kind of just, you know, you're very nervous before your first year of teaching. You don't know how it's going to go. Right. So I'm really happy with how it's been going. And I'm excited to learn more and get even better at it. So.
And part of the Timber Creek family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has that been as far as onboarding and being supported and that sort of thing? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been great. Everybody here is very welcoming. I love my team. We work very well together. They've taught me so much. I don't know what I would do without them. Our principal, Dr. Gector, is amazing. Yeah, I have no complaints. Everybody's been great.
Awesome. Now, we've chosen you for a couple reasons to talk today. First of all, I've heard a lot of great things. I visited your classroom several times and seen the great things in action.
Thank you.
But you are also a Ray-Pec grad and have been in this community throughout your entire academic career.
Yeah.
So tell me what that was like coming home to be a teacher.
Yeah, it was very full circle. I grew up, you know, I went to Stonegate as a kid, and then Bridal Ridge, and then the middle school, and then the high school. So I've been in Raymore my entire life.
Okay.
I always loved it. Obviously, they inspired me. My teachers inspired me to be a teacher myself. So, of course, I loved Ray-Pec growing up. I made amazing friends. I met amazing teachers. A lot of the teachers that I had when I was little still teach in Ray-Pec.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah, which is crazy to see, but it's also heartwarming to see they've been teaching for so long and they still love it. Yeah, it's been awesome. I went to Missouri State after I graduated here in 2020. Studied early childhood education, and then I was excited to come home and apply back at Ray-Pec.
Good. So some of those teachers that are still here, who are some of them that, you know, made an impact on you in your life and maybe even influenced you to become a teacher?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of my teachers that I've had back here. Like I had Emily Craig, Mrs. Craig, for English in high school, and she was awesome. I've seen Mr. Zendejas.
Oh, yes.
He was my favorite math teacher in high school. I love him. My number one influence would be Mr. Huffman, which he still teaches elementary, I think, right? Yeah. And he was like my favorite teacher ever. So he was always very fun and very big and joyful, and I just loved that about him. And I always looked forward to going to school every day in elementary school, but especially third grade.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, of course.
So tell me a little bit about your classroom, your first year. Now you are several months into this. What have you learned so far? What have been the aha moments, the, you know, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known that, or thank goodness I'm able to do this? I mean, what have you learned?
All kinds of things. I could not even tell you all of them right now. But I've learned that you can't really be perfect in this job. Like I used to try to plan out my days perfectly, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is how it's gonna go. And you can't do that with teaching really, because they're people, and they're, especially in kindergarten, they're learning how to be people. So sometimes you have to change what you're doing, and you have to teach them a lesson that you weren't planning on teaching them, but it's equally as important. So yeah, in kindergarten I've learned that, which I already knew this, but it's been very prevalent this year, that the number one thing, like yes, you're teaching them math and reading and writing and science, but the number one thing for me is teaching them how to be kind and good people.
Yes.
So I care a lot about relationships, and I've built amazing relationships with my kids, and I look forward to coming to see them every day. And so yeah, that's been my number one thing this year, but yeah, I've learned a lot. Sorry.
No, that's good. I mean, because it's an open book as to what you learned in your first year. Because I love what you said about that. Always giving yourself some patience and grace, right? And that was one of the things we talked about at the very beginning of my superintendency here, is giving each other patience and grace, and ourselves patience and grace when things don't go as smoothly as we want them to, especially in our first year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you go back to our conversation back in August, we talked about the three things that we want our community, our school district to be. We want to make sure we care for kids, right? Each and every day. We want to make sure we help them do hard things, overcome what their perceived limitations to themselves. And we also want to provide a plethora of opportunities for our students.
Yeah.
So which of those three resonate with you most as you are looking your first 5 or 6 months into this role, and as you move forward? What do you want our kids to do?
Yeah, well, as I was saying a little bit earlier, my number one thing is to teach them how to be good people and teach them that life is going to be hard and school's going to be hard, and that's okay, and you can always get past it. So when you were talking about doing hard things, we talk a lot about the power of yet.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you can't do it yet. That's why we're practicing, and that's why we're learning how to do it. So I've tried to teach them a lot about that, and I think it's going pretty well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love your classroom.
Thank you.
It's inviting, it's fun, you have the teepee here,
Yes.
little people inside.
So calm down corner.
Oh, nice, very good. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Best of success throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Ray-Pec community, that was Ellie Retter here at Timber Creek Elementary School. Tune in next time where we'll have another special guest. Until then, keep smiling and we'll see you soon.